First off, I thought I should have done this yesterday, but obviously everyone knows that yesterday was October 7th. The attack on Israel, the terrorist attack by Hamas that precipitated this blanket war that Israel is fighting around the entire Middle East. But in all honesty, I support Israel. I don't support its leader, Benjamin Netanyahu. That's a video for another time. But this unthinking fight that he's doing is killing more civilians than it is killing terrorists. It's got to stop, one way or another. But let's get to the meat of what I want to talk about today. Right now, we are exactly 4 weeks away from our next election. 4 weeks away from the decision that the American people are going to have to make. Constitutional republic or fascism? Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. That is the choice we have to make in 4 weeks. But I need everyone to understand why I'm doing all of this, why I'm making this video, why I'm making all these videos about Donald Trump, why I might have to continue to make these videos if Donald Trump is reelected. The reason why I'm doing all this is because the simplest fact is that Donald Trump should not be allowed back in the office. The man is a liar. He's a criminal. Put the convictions on the back burner because they weren't really big, huge crimes, although they interfered with the election, but he's accused of some very major crimes. We saw by now, all of you have read the indictment from Jack Smith. And there are things in that indictment that I've read that make me want to travel to whatever city he is in now, slap the cuffs on him, and throw him into a jail cell. He knew he lost the 2020 election and tried to steal the election and seize power. He knew what he was doing on January 6th when he told people to fight like hell. He knew what was happening inside the Capitol when the police officers were being assaulted, beaten to the point where one actually killed himself, committed suicide. He knew what was happening. He knew what he was doing. He knew what was happening when he took those documents to Mar-a-Lago. He knew what he was doing was a crime. And these people are trying to get him back into office. That's not right. That is not right. But one of the main things I have a problem with that's going to wreck this country is the simplest fact that no one on the right wing will say that Donald Trump lost the election in 2020. No one will say it. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, went on ABC News and refused to even answer the damn question. He was asked by George Stephanopoulos
that Joe Biden won the 2020 election and Donald Trump lost?
See, this is the game that is always played by mainstream media with leading Republicans. It's a gotcha game. You want us to litigate things that happened 4 years ago when we're talking about the future. We're not going to talk about what happened in 2020. We're going to talk about 2024 and how we're going to solve the problems for the American people.
Will you say unequivocally that Donald Trump lost in 2020? Mike Johnson's answer was another sidestepping in, I don't want to piss off Donald Trump crap. J.D. Vance on debate night when he was debating Tim Walz. Tim Walz asked him that question.
I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
It's a damning non-answer for you to not talk about censorship.
Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? He refused to answer that question. And Tim Walz hit him with, that's a flagrant non-answer. A flagrant non-answer. If I spoke him, I apologize. It's not a gotcha question. It's just a question. Do you believe that Donald Trump lost the election in 2020? The easiest question anyone could answer. That anyone could possibly answer. None of them will answer that question. They sidestep, they run away, they act like pussies. They don't want to anger their Lord and Savior, Donald Trump. They don't want to anger him. Why they don't want to anger him? Because they don't want to get mean tweets about them. They don't want the MAGA angry about them. They don't want to lose their seat. Because without Donald Trump, a lot of the people, the Mike Johnsons, the Mary Jean Taylor Greens, all of them, the Ted Cruzes, who should be out of office, hopefully this November, a lot of them, the Lindsey Grahams, all of them would be out of office if it wasn't for Donald Trump. But the flagrant lies about not just the election, but the hurricane response. You all know by now, the hurricane that just almost wiped out the South. A few towns were wiped out in North Carolina and South Carolina. The blatant lies from the Trump administration being debunked day in and day out. It feels like every hour Trump tells a lie about what's going on down there. And it's debunked almost like that. It's gotten so out of control that the lies have just... What is going on with these people? You really don't think that we have the ability to do our research on this? The lie that somehow President Biden is stealing money from FEMA. No, that is not happening. We know that's not happening. And I applaud the people for speaking out against this. And I'm not just talking about people on social media, on TikTok and whatnot, because their opinions do matter, because they're in the thick of it. They're in the middle of it. I'm talking about the Republican governors like Brian Kemp of Georgia, who I think is still a racist prick, but actually telling the truth about what's going on. You see, what really bothers me about this is that you want to accuse the Democrats of something that someone else did. Now, there's only one other person in the history of the presidency who stole money from FEMA, from the Federal, and in case you don't know, it's the Federal Emergency Management Agency. There's only one president who stole money from FEMA. Do you know who that president is? Do you know? Do I need to tell you? Okay, I will tell you. TRUMP. What does that say? What does that name mean, class? Yes, Billy? It's Trump, sir. That's right. It was Donald Trump who stole money from FEMA. And we all know it. We all know it. But these are the guys who want to but the MAGA want him back in office? Spreading a lie. I really don't know what goes on in the heads of the MAGA. Actually, I do know what goes on in the heads of the MAGA. I've been harassed by MAGA idiots on social media day in and day out for the last 8 years. Some of them even posting threats against me and my family. Some of them even posting photoshopped photos of my face. My God, just, you see some examples here. Not to mention tagging on Twitter or X or whatever the hell Elon Musk calls it. And especially, well, I'll get back to you, Musk, in a few minutes. But even posting, even actually tagging me with porn. Tagging me with porn on Twitter. And no, I'm not going to show you that because of course, YouTube rules. I mean, what the hell is going on with these people? But then again, I have to remind myself they're Trump supporters. They don't know how to dialogue. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to have a conversation. They don't know how to make their point across without resorting to threats and lies. This is what we're up against in 4 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. 4 weeks. Our country could be in the hands of freedom or fascism. Take your pick. I already know what I'm going to do. And as for Elon Musk, the guy who jumped up and down like some lunatic at the latest rally in Pennsylvania, he shared a post from his mama Musk. This idiotic woman is suggesting that, that Republicans go into the polls and vote 10 times. She's advocating for people to break the law. That's what we're up against. These people don't care about elections. They don't care about the law. All they care about is all hail Trump. All hail Trump. All hail Trump. That's all they care about. That's all they will ever care about. They have thoroughly convinced me that they will burn this country to the ground rather than see Donald Trump not as president. They've convinced me of that. We need to put a stop to that insanity. Make a plan and vote. Voter registration for many states are closed now. By the next few days, others will. Early voting will start. If you have to take off work for that, take off work. If your boss won't let you go, as much as I hate saying this, then you may have to quit your job. This election is just too important. Donald Trump might actually be re-elected president, regardless of all the polls, what the polls are saying, regardless of the polls saying that Kamala Harris is in the lead in a lot of the swing states, which she is. But in the end of the day, it's up to us. It's up to us to make the choice. Make the choice and make the right one. Because Donald Trump, he's already made his choice as to what he's going to do to this country. And this idea of forced deportations, right out of the Hitler handbook, what makes you think that he's not going to send soldiers and cops to your house? And you could be red, white, and blue American, born in the USA, except your skin color may be darker, or it may be yellow, or it may be red, anything other than white. And I hate saying that because I am not a racist, but that is the reality of what is happening. You really think that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, the people in Springfield, were from Argentina or Switzerland or Sweden? You really think that they would actually, if they would make up those types of lies about pets being eaten? You really think they would do that if the situation were different? The answer is no, they wouldn't. That's what we're facing in this election. I've already had threats put on me saying if Donald Trump wins, watch my back. If Donald Trump wins, you're first, you're next. I know what's at stake for me, which is why I made my plans. I had to go to work that day. I wish the guy could take the time off, but in retrospect, no, I'm not going to. But I know what my plan is. I'm going to go to work. I get off the job at 3 o'clock. I'm going to go straight to my polling place. Well, first, I'm going to stop by a gas station, get something to drink, maybe something to eat, depending on how long I got to stay in line. And I'm going to stay in line for hours if I have to. But I'm going to get my vote in. Yes, sir. You better believe it. Donald Trump may be reelected, but I'm still an American. I'm still a free American for now. But I'm going to do whatever it takes and that on that day. If I have to leave early on the job, if they will let me go, I'm not going to abandon my post. I'm not going to abandon my job. That's not what I do. But if I have to take off early and ask my bosses to, they might say yes, they might say no. But I'm going to do my job as an American. Because this is not just another election. This is a sacred task that I am going to fulfill. And it should be a sacred task after everything Donald Trump has put this country through for the last 10 years, going back to when he walked down that golden escalator. This is not just another election. This is a sacred, holy task. Treat it as such. Now back to my plan. I'm going to get something to eat, get something to drink, head for my polling place, stand in line for hours, no matter how long it takes. And I'm going to vote against Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, and I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. That is going to be on the agenda. And I don't care how many Trumpers try to stop me. I don't care how many they tried to harass me, because we already know they're going to do it. In fact, in the description of this video, you'll see the phone number for the FBI's Civil Rights Bureau Division. Excuse me. Carry that number in your speed dial, because make no mistake about this, they are going to come after you. Trumpers are going to be coming after you in droves to make sure Trump gets back in the office. They'll threaten you. They'll probably harass you. They might even physically harm you. Do not be intimidated by these people. You saw what happened this weekend at the Pennsylvania rally. You saw the lies upon lies upon lies from Donald Trump and his family, from J.D. Vance, from Elon Musk. You saw the lies of the last couple of weeks after the hurricane smacked the South. You're probably going to see the lies after the next hurricane that's scheduled to hit Florida by Wednesday night. That state is about to get pounded again, and you will see another batch of lies from Donald Trump, from his family, from J.D. Vance, from his family, from everyone who supports Trump. Enough is enough. You have your problems with Kamala Harris? Bury them. Because Donald Trump is going to bury you. He's already made the case that he's already made clear that's exactly what he's planning to do. Don't let him. Enough is enough. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.